This is a regular meeting of the Springfield City Council that's beginning at 7:03. Madam Clerk, would you please be so kind and call the roll?
Counselor Edwards.
Present.
Present. Counselor Letterman.
Present.
Present. Counselor Gomez. Absent. Counselor Allen.
Present.
Present. Counselor Curran.
Present.
Present. Counselor Whitfield.
Present.
Present. Counselor Ramos.
Present.
Present. Counselor Brown.
Present.
Present. Counselor Walsh.
Present.
Present. Counselor Davila. Absent. Counselor Fenton.
Present.
Present. Counselor Hurst. Absent. Counselor Williams.
Present. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will our councilors and guests please rise for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance? I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
And justice.
Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first item before us?
The first item on the agenda would be the reports of committee, I believe.
Oh, yes, Madam Clerk, appreciate that. Are there any reports of committee from councilors this evening? Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a report of committee from the Finance Subcommittee. I'm just trying to
Councilor Whitfield, I'm sorry if I can just cut you off. Madam Clerk, can you please just recognize Councilor Hurst?
Counselor Hurst.
Present.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. In attendance were Councilors Davila and Allen, who are part of the subcommittee, and Councilor Gomez. We discussed, I'm just going to talk about like two items that we discussed in the Finance Subcommittee. One was the $5 million that is coming from planning and eco dev for the Main Street Convention Center area, the overlay district. It's HUD funding that we kind of like draw down like an equity account, and the city council will get notification of utilization of the funds before they are used. The purpose of the funding is to finance economic development, housing rehabilitation, public facilities, and other physical development projects. And we did approve Plan and Eco Dev to submit the application back in April or May. Tim will catch us up on that date. I might not be 100%, but the application was submitted and approved for $5 million. So it's $5 million. It doesn't have to be used all at once, and it's just to help develop the overlay district. And then there is a transfer of $75,000 from salary and wages to other than personal services account in the law department. And the $75,000 will go to outstanding services that need to be paid to different legal teams for like day-to-day school department operations, like school service, transportation. I think lunches was included in that. Other folks that need to be paid is Julie Steiner, some construction issues, the Parks Department, and the cable license renewal are the ones that we discussed. And that is all that I have for the Finance Subcommittee meeting.
Great, thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Letterman.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The COVID-19 Response Committee met last Tuesday. Present at the committee meeting was Commissioner Colton Harris, as well as Councilor Whitfield and Councilor Allen. We received a report from the commissioner relative to the activities of her department to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the things that I want to highlight is the contact tracing that's being done within the department. The commissioner reported that we did see some funds come through from the state, $200,000 to provide for assistance with contact tracing, and a number of members of the health department have stepped up to assist with contact tracing as we see the current surge that's happening in Springfield and as well as across the Commonwealth and the country. So we want to highlight and thank those staff who are stepping up. Also want to encourage individuals over 18 who have had their vaccination more than 6 months ago that boosters are available. Boosters can be located through the city website, both at state offered locations as well as local locations offered by the Springfield Department of Public Health. And I just wanted to also draw attention for counselors. We're seeing the numbers that came out today relative to an increase in cases likely associated with the Thanksgiving holiday, not unique to the city, but something to be cognizant of. And finally, the vaccination rates, which we are seeing the rates of individuals 50 plus significantly high, almost at parity with the state, but continuing to see a challenge with individuals under 30 who are also accounting for the largest number of cases. So continuing to reach out to young individuals in the community and being available to answer questions was something that the commissioner certainly requested of the counselors in encouraging younger individuals to get vaccinated. So that's the report of committee for the COVID-19 response.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Are there any other reports of committee this evening from counselors? And I will ask, are there any other reports? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept the reports?
On accepting the reports, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yeah.
Yes, Counselor Gomez absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield? Counselor Whitfield? I'm going to mark her away. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh? Counselor Walsh?
Didn't realize I was muted. Yes.
Yes. Counselor Davila? Absent. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams?
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Sorry, can you recall me? I
Yeah.
couldn't get my,
Counselor Whitfield?
yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. And Madam Clerk, can you also please recognize Councilor Ramos Webb, who just joined us, if he was not recognized already?
Counselor Ramos?
President, yes, Mr. President, I was recognized. I just joined on a different device.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, can you please call the first item before us?
First item is the October revenue versus expenditure report.
All right, if there's anyone present to speak to this, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. President. Patrick Burns, 90 Clement Street, Springfield. Tonight you have the October revenue versus expenditure report. Represents the first 4 months of the fiscal year. Two highlights I'd like to present is we're tracking gasoline and diesel expenses. They're up about $97,000 or 50% compared to the same period last fiscal year. And also the Emergency Communications Department or centralized dispatch. They're in the need to do a reclass to move some expenses of salaries and overtime to their state 911 support grant. And we're working with them to get those done. And those will be reflected in next month's report.
Thank you, Patrick. As always, are there any questions from counselors at this time? Counselor Whitfield. Counselor Whitfield?
Sorry. It's not my day today. I just wanted to say to Pat, I know that you was on the finance committee meeting, but it wasn't on the agenda. So I just wanted to apologize because you stayed the whole meeting and I didn't call you to speak on the expenditure report.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I should have said something, but the meeting was kind of moving along quickly, so I didn't want
Yeah.
to slow things down.
All right, thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Whitfield. Madam Clerk, can you please recognize Counselor Davila?
Counselor Davila,
Present.
present.
All right, thank you, Counselor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. Pat, two or three, I think quick questions. One is that 97,000 they just referred to a gas and diesel, is that probably going to be repeated in the next couple of quarters and what next couple 4 months, next, is that an indication of what's going to continue to happen? It seems like it would be.
Yes, it is. It's the price. Price has gone up considerably, as we all know from filling up our own cars, that we're keeping our eye on that, but we're first looking the departments to see if they can solve for it. And then we have the reserve for contingencies account within the general fund, which I think we could use for this particular budget shortfall that we're going to have.
And we don't know what the price will be tomorrow or in 6 months, but if it was 97, call it 100,000 for the first 4 month period. Is it reasonable to think that it might be, 100, that it'll be 300,000 for the year kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. The second question, any other things stick out that's a problem for you with our 4 month report here?
No, that really was the main thing that I was focusing on for October. I'll certainly do the same analysis for November. We're planning on hopefully having those reports ready for the next meeting and pointing out any other areas of concern at that time.
Okay, thanks. And my last question is, we just passed the tax rate. I guess that's not reflected here or any increased revenue or whatever, but relative to Eversource and the continued problem of Eversource being a responsible bill payer on their utilities, where is that reflected in here?
Generally, what they withhold the fourth quarter payment, so you wouldn't see that until the fourth quarter bills are issued, which would be in the May and June report. So they pay the full amount for the first 3 quarters, and then they withhold the disputed amount in the final payment in the fourth quarter.
Okay. Great. All right. I'd like to talk to you offline a little bit about that, but thanks for the answer. That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Allen. Counselor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. And Pat, just following up on this discussion about gas prices and looking at some of the weather reports, is this going to have an impact on drivers and snow, or is that already in the budget, or do we have to worry more about it?
That is actually within the budget, but they do have the authorization to deficit spend if need be within the snow and ice, just to make sure the streets are passable and safe.
Do we compensate the drivers for their mileage? Is that part of it, or do they pay that themselves?
It's strictly per hour that they're paid, so they're responsible for the gasoline or diesel.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Counselor Walsh. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept the report?
I'm accepting the report. Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Levin?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez? Absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh?
Yes,
Yes. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the report has been accepted. The next item, please, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President, quick point of information.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. My apologies for running behind. Seem to be having technical difficulties. Councilor Gomez texted me he appears to be having difficulties himself. Perhaps we can resend the link to him.
Yeah, Council Davila, I already have a couple times. I'm not sure what particularly his issue is, but I have sent the link to him a few times.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Thank you. Right, Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is a petition for 21-18 Hall Street.
Right, is there anyone present to speak to this? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, councilors. Chris Signoli, DPW Director, 89 Bennington Street. Mr. President, the 5 items for petitions are all traffic. Do you want to take them together or separately?
We can actually take them, if you're going to speak to all of them at the same time. What I'll do is have the Madam Clerk just call all of the items together and speak to them, and then we can vote. That makes the most sense.
Fine, thank you.
Madam Clerk, if you would just please call the petitions.
Sure, the petitions are for 18 Hall Street, 19 Du Bois Street, 20 Kane Street, 22 Audley Street, and 23 Pennsylvania Ave.
Thank you.
Thank you, councilors. Chris Signoli, DPW Director. Item number 2, which is Hall Street, was a request to remove the 8 a.m. to 6 a.m. parking on both sides of the street. The regulation had been in effect for almost 30 years, 40 years, and we had received a lot of requests on that street for handicap parking. So that request has gone to the Traffic Commission. Du Bois Street, item number 3, installation of stop signs on Du Bois Street at Farnham Avenue. Right now, the cross streets didn't have any stop signs, so making it into a safer intersection. Item number 4, Kane Street, exact same thing, installing stop signs at Kane and Frank Street in the 16 acres section. Audley Street, T intersection with Signal Hill Circle, installation of a formal stop sign there. There was not one, so a stop sign was installed. And Pennsylvania Avenue, the last item, number 6, stop sign at the intersection of Pennsylvania and Cambria to create a 4-way stop sign. And just as an aside, we've been getting a lot of requests, obviously, for speeding and cars. So we've received a lot of requests for installation of 4-way stop signs that we are going through a review at this point on each one of them.
Thank you, Mr. Signoli. Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Relative to 4-way stops, I just had a quick question. Do we have a standard petition? Because I know for the 4-way stops, they need to submit a petition to the Traffic Commission with, I think, 10 residents on the street. But is there a petition form that residents can use?
We don't have one. We don't have a standard form. What we do is when somebody's interested in a petition, we provide them a copy of a similar one. And it's, I believe it's 15, either 10 or 15 names. And for the installation of stop signs especially, we try to run that through the Traffic Commission because we want to get the petition for that so we can make sure that the neighborhood is in favor of it. But usually,
that's fair. That's fair.
Sample. Yeah,
but I would like to see us develop a standardized form because I'm helping a resident with one now, and I just made one. But I think for a lot of residents that may not be a possibility if they don't have the access to the technology or whatever they need. So I'd love to see us get a standardized form. Could we work on that?
Yeah, I'll talk to Hector for traffic and see if he can put one together for me.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
No problem.
Great. Thank you, Councilor Letterman. Councilor Ramos, followed by Councilor Allen.
Mr. President, thank you. Chris, there was a request that was put in for the corner of Senator Street and Dutchess I believe that's in Ward 5. That request was put in last year, and for whatever reason, the stop signs were removed. Can you give me an update as to why that was and how we can get the stop signs back?
Well, it was a request. I may be wrong. Yell at me if I am. That might have initially come through you, Councilor Williams.
It possibly could have, Chris.
It might have. And it was also from a number of residents. So what we did there is we installed the stop signs under a trial basis. And we probably received 40 or 50 letters from residents there wanting them removed. So it went through the traffic process, it was voted down. So the stop signs were removed.
So the residents wanted the stop signs removed?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
understood it differently. I understood that the residents wanted the stop signs to reduce the huge traffic speeding problem that they have on.
Yeah, I
certain
agree.
streets. I'm surprised to hear that the residents wanted it removed.
Yeah, so we ended up running it through the traffic commission and probably received 30 plus letters
Really?
from people requesting that it be removed.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Councilor,
I'm sorry, did you say Counselor Allen?
yes.
Okay, Mr. President. And Chris, on Audley and on Pennsylvania Avenue, is this the final vote on these? We've done the 4-month trial and good, is that what this is?
I'm not sure if we've done trials on those two or not, but
Well,
I think both of them were trials, yeah. And
I mean,
so
I can speak to Audley. That came from Ryan Walsh from the police department.
yes.
And I was involved in that, and he was very thrilled when the stop sign went on Audley.
Yeah.
So I'm presuming that this is the final approval on that.
Correct.
I hadn't heard about Pennsylvania Avenue, which is also in Ward 7. And I didn't know if you knew, like, I would, this means that there'll be a stop. There's already a stop sign on Cambria, I believe.
Correct.
The stop sign will be on Pennsylvania Avenue.
Correct. So it'll be a 4-way. Yes.
Yeah. So if you could get back to me on that, I'm just surprised. I'm not surprised. Like, let's just see what happens with it. Have there been, do you know if there have been accidents there or something? I wasn't involved in this.
I'm looking through the paperwork on here, Counselor, and the petition came in from a woman on Pennsylvania Avenue. I can send you a copy of that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
No big deal. I'm glad
Yeah.
the neighbors I'm glad to hear neighbors being involved in it. I just hadn't heard it. So thank
Yeah.
you.
No problem.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Ramos.
Sorry, Mr. President, one more question from Chris. I know that you mentioned that there were several other streets that you were looking at to install 4-way stop signs.
Yes.
Do you by chance know whether or not Ambrose Street is on that list? I've received several complaints about Ambrose and Denver. Those two streets run directly from Riverton Road all the way down to Boston Road.
Yeah.
And there are 2 intersections on the way there, and there are absolute no stop signs on the way there. So cars just fly up and down.
Yeah. Ambrose doesn't ring a bell, but I know up in that area, I think we had one for Rentham. Excuse me, and one of the other side streets there. But what I'm saying is we've probably been contacted by a dozen people all over the city on that. So it wouldn't surprise, Ambrose doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean we haven't received anything. But there seems to be a huge increase in the amount of residents who are looking for 4-way stop signs.
So those are the 2 streets that I sent to Hector months ago.
Yeah.
It was Ambrose and Denver. So I'll follow up with an email.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
And you said Denver was the other one?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on items 2 through 6 at this time?
On items 2 through 6, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Kern?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh? Counselor Walsh, you were muted.
On my screen, yes.
Yes. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the petitions are approved. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is item number 7, which is the DPW Recycling Dividends Program Grant. It's no match in the amount of $71,500.
All right, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, councilors. Chris Signoli, DPW Director, 89 Bennington Street in Springfield. The DPW has been awarded is from the DEP for $71,500. It is a matrix that is put together by the DEP that requests that cities, do you collect trash? Do you collect recycling? Do you have household hazardous waste? And you receive points based upon all the items that you do within your department. And the city has basically received the maximum from the state for the last 4 or 5 years. And this is just the latest award. In most cases, we've been using this award to either buy barrels or supplement costs on household hazardous waste days.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any questions at this time? Are there any other questions at this time? Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just had a quick question. Is this actual funding fixed on what it's designed to do, or is there leeway as far as maybe using some of it to lower the actual trash rate?
Well, thank you. Lowering the trash rate is not my call.
Okay.
However, what we use it for, the 75,000 just for the trash fee, the trash fee raises roughly between 3.6 and $4 million a year. Of the $90 minus whatever is in abatements for elderly, et cetera. So a $75,000, if all of that was put to there, it's going to be a dollar or two or three, if that. But with the grant is given to the city, it's basically unrestricted, and we can use it for any needs that we see in the department. But like I said, we've been using for in the past is to purchase additional barrels based upon the funding that we currently have for it.
Okay, because there's certain people, constituents in my area where even if they're, they might have situations where they couldn't pay it. So, I'm just thinking outside the box, but I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor Brown. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none at this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the grant.
Motion to approve the grant.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made by Councilor Edwards and properly seconded by Councilor Whitfield. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos.
Same.
Abstain, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
yes,
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the grant is approved. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
Thank you,
next-
councilors.
The
Thanks,
next
Chris.
with Parks Department donation in the amount of $28,000.
All right, councilors, this falls below our $50,000 threshold, so without objection, I'll just go straight to the Madam Clerk for calling the roll, please.
Moved.
On accepting the donation, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
yes,
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the grant is approved. The next item, please.
The next item is item number 9, which is a Section 108 loan, no match in the amount of $5 million.
All right, is there anyone present to speak to this? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, Mr. President, Tim Sheehan, Chief Development Officer, 26 Eckington Street, Springfield. On March, this past March, we came to the council and sought the council's approval to file a Section 108 application with HUD that was unanimously approved. We got notification on September 28th that HUD had approved our application in the amount of $5 million. The purpose of this funding is to advance economic development initiatives associated with the Main Street Convention Center master plan. That same evening in March, the council reviewed the master plan and approved that unanimously as well. Ultimately, we went back when this was going through, coming up to the council. This has been reviewed by a joint committee meeting between the Economic Development and Finance Committees. And it was reviewed again tonight by the Finance Committee, and we seek the council's authorization and acceptance of the funding. As Councilor Whitfield indicated, utilization of this any funding utilized from this source ultimately would come back to the council for its approval.
All right, thank you, Tim. Are there any questions at this time? Councilor Fenton.
I just wanted to say that I think this is a terrific project and program, and wanted to thank the city's economic development team and all the stakeholders, specifically on the council, who have helped to review it. It's really going to help with economic development in and around the convention center. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. Councilor Ramos.
Mr. President, thank you, and thank you, Tim, for the information. I commended you on this initiative before, and I will do so again. I think it's very much needed in the effort to revitalize the area around the casino. When this first came up, I had mentioned to you, and I apologize for not being able to make the finance meeting. I intended to ask you these questions at the finance committee hearing, but I wasn't able to make it. There was the concern that I brought up to you was the fact around wage theft, and whether or not there was going to be some wage theft language inside the request for proposals, and I went through some of the language, and I think I see something in Section 8, paragraph 2, that refers to wage theft. Is that accurate?
You're breaking up a little bit on me in referring to specifically what?
Section 8, paragraph 2. I was wondering if that is a section there, or if there's any other section in there that refers to wage theft.
Oh, ultimately, if we're using this is federal funding from CDBG, so ultimately it's going to have Davis-Bacon as the labor wage rate.
I'm not sure what that means.
Is that answering your question?
No, no. I was so when you and I first discussed this at the very beginning, we talked about wage theft and whether or not there will be some language in the contract that will prevent any applicant from using contractors who have been found guilty of wage theft, because as you know, the city council has been looking at different ways to prevent taxpayer funds to go towards companies that cheat.
That would ultimately go into the contracting for the specific project.
Okay. So it will be in the
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the issues in terms of CDBG funding sources, not only is Davis-Bacon the prevailing labor wage rate, that all needs to be documented throughout the project. That the fund that they actually look at payroll.
Sure. Okay. Beautiful, love it. My second question is, can you explain section 11 a little bit more? It talks about maintaining a drug-free workplace by notifying employees, that they're of their records and possession, etc. I'm wondering what that all means in terms of employees that are going to be allowed to work on these projects.
That's standard language related to HUD's contracts.
What does it mean, though? Can you explain to us a little bit?
I would prefer to actually get counsel to actually refer to it, because it is kind of a legal issue associated with the contract.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm happy to answer the question and get the information for you, though.
Do we have anybody from the law department, Mr. President?
Councilor Ramos, this is Kathy Breck, Deputy City Solicitor from the City Law Department.
Thank you, Kathy.
I'm covering for Ed Pakula, who's on vacation. I don't have that contract. I don't have the contract in front of me, so I be happy to take a look at it if I could get that from Tim and maybe contact you offline.
Okay. So, I mean, I guess my concern is whether or not this would exclude, certain people on benefiting or participating in these jobs. So I just want to know what it all means. I read it through. I'm not sure I fully understand it. And
I don't believe it is past issues. It's actually current issues in terms of being tested while you're actually in the employment situation.
Okay.
So I think if I'm hearing you correctly, you're concerned about the potential of excluding folks that might have had issues previously.
Correct.
Yeah, that's not what that's intended to do. It's actually testing while they're actually on the job.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Tim, for this great grant. I'm just curious, are there any allocations in this for security in the overlay district? Is this, around where the Civic Center is and so forth? In particular, I'm thinking of the substation that's down there that isn't fully manned. Is there anything in this loan that could address that?
No, there's not. But there clearly are issues that we're working on relative to security for the whole area. Obviously, if we're looking at having more activity and activated uses in the area, we've been very clear that safety is a #1 issue. And we were talking in the subcommittee, it is kind of a small issue. But even the installation of the lights up above, I mean, that really gives people, an immediate sense of, feeling safe. And we need to be looking at more efforts like that, as well as having more patrols.
Okay, thank you. Well, hopefully we can find something somewhere, because every time I go home and drive by the empty substation, I think to myself, what if somebody really needed help and had no idea that nobody was there?
I can tell you that MGM has spoken often about the lack of manning those substations, in so much as that was part of a contribution that they were putting forward as a safety issue.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll find some ways to address it. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Allen and seconded by Councilor Walsh. Madam, can you please call the roll?
Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Gomez? Absent, Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the order is approved. Councilors, may I entertain a motion at this time to suspend Rule 19?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Counselor Walsh and seconded by Counselor Whitfield. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on suspending Rule 19?
On suspending Rule 19, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Kern.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, thank you, councilors. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item on the agenda is a budget transfer in the amount of $75,000 within the law department.
All right, is there anyone present to speak to this? Please state your name and address for the record.
Mr. President, good evening. My name is Kathleen Breck, Deputy City Solicitor, City of Springfield Law Department, 36 Court Street, Springfield. Here to, I'm covering for Ed Pakula, who's on vacation. This is a request from the Law Department to move funds, $75,000 from salaries and wages to our other than personal services line item in order to pay for a series of other expenses, including outside counsel. We have outside counsel who are assisting us on drafting contracts. We have Julie Steiner, who assists us with the marijuana process. We have currently a new construction issue that has come up that we've engaged outside counsel to assist the park department and ourselves in addressing a potential issue with a construction project. We also are negotiating the new license for Comcast, the cable television 10-year license, which the current license expires on December 26th. And we are actively negotiating that license with Comcast, and we have outside counsel for that, which is an expense. That line item is pretty much wiped out. And we also have some other litigation expenses that include deposition costs and expert witness fees and filing fees, et cetera. And so we're seeking that amount to be transferred from the salaries and wages to other than personal services. We usually have the line items for professional services and also legal services, and those are pretty much exhausted. And we need the transfer in order to pay bills, current bills and upcoming bills.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Are there any questions from the council at this time? Councilor Ramos.
Just quick question, Mr. President. Does this transfer include the cost for the outside counsel, the police commission appeal?
Councilor, that question came up at the Finance Committee. I am not aware that that is within this $75,000 amount. The amounts that I have for the outside counsel that I'm working with comes very close to the 75,000. And then with the other costs, I think those are these are covered. So I'm not aware of that.
Do we have a number as to how much this cost this far?
The outside counsel for that case?
Yes.
I personally do not have it. I could get it for you tomorrow and send it to you. I just don't have it.
I would love to see that. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Ramos. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just Councilor Ramos, through the chair, for point of information. I asked that question during the finance meeting. I have also requested from Lindsay an updated amount that the law department has spent in outside counsel in relating to all law consulting matters. as well.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any other questions or comments at this time? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the order.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Allen and seconded by Councilor Whitfield. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos.
Abstain.
Abstain, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
yes,
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the order is approved. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to suspend Rule 19.
so moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh and seconded by Councilor Edwards. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
On suspension of Rule 19, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield. Counselor Whitfield. Away, Counselor Ramos.
Abstain.
Abstain, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes,
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, thank you, councilors. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is item number 11, which is bills of prior year from various departments in the amount of $33,554.91.
All right, is there anyone present to speak to this? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lindsay Hackett, Deputy CAFO, 80 Tamarack Drive in Springfield. This order is to pay two bills of prior years, one for the police department, one for the city clerk, for services rendered in previous fiscal years.
Thank you, Lindsay. Councilor Letterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually had a point of order on the Rule 19 suspension. Given Councilor Ramos's abstention, does that still count as a unanimous vote on Rule 19, or will we need to vote on that financial order again later?
That is a good question, which Kathy, I'm not sure if you have the answer to that on its face. And I know we usually rely on Ed for these.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not as familiar with the process of that particular rule as Ed is.
It begs a good Councilor Letterman. An abstention, of course, is recorded as an abstention, but on paper, it's a no. I'm not too sure on that, honestly, and would need some legal counsel on that.
Yeah, I do not know the answer to it either. We may not need to know right now, but we may need to know before the next meeting.
Yeah, for sure. And if we need to revisit that, certainly it will appear on the next agenda. Thank you, Councilor Letterman.
I also have a question on this item. Lindsay could just mention what the two bills are.
Sure. The smaller bill is for a WB Mason invoice in the amount just under $600 for the city clerk. The larger of the two is about $33,000. That is for our subscription to Kronos for the police department. They had a change in account manager with Kronos, and when we went to pay the bill for this fiscal year, we realized we hadn't paid the previous year because we'd never received the invoice. So having just received it now, we're just going to pay that just to make sure we're up to speed on everything we need for that software.
Thank you, Councilor Letterman. That was all. Are there any other questions at this time?
Just one additional question, Mr. President.
Sure.
On the Kronos bill, through the chair, they didn't assess us any type of late fees or anything like that. We're just paying the flat rate that we owe them.
That's correct.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor Letterman. Are there any other questions at this time? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the order.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilor Allen and seconded by Councilor Walsh. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
On approving the order, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield. Away, Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the order is approved. I will also entertain a motion to suspend Rule 19 for this item as well.
So moved.
Motion made by
Second.
Councilor Walsh and seconded by Councilor Edwards. Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
On suspension of Rule 19, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez. Absent, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield. Away, Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, thank you, councilors. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is for a special permit for new construction. And it's Southside Belmont Ave, also known as 462 Belmont Avenue.
All right, councilors, items 12, 13, and 14 are appearing before us for the second time. So, Madam Clerk, I will ask for this item number 12, is there any remaining testimony in favor of the special permit?
Counselor Davila did call the office and made note that the Forest Park Neighborhood Council did meet. I'm not sure if he has something to add to that. I didn't receive anything physically in writing, but he did call and leave a voicemail this morning.
Okay, Counselor Davila, I'll allow you to speak on that.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to mention that the Forest Park Civic Association did take a vote after receiving the lighting plan, and they voted in favor of the proposal going forward.
All right, Madam Clerk, please note that for the record. Thank you, Counselor Davila, for sharing that. If there is no other testimony that you've received, Madam Clerk, have we received any testimony in opposition of the special?
We have not.
All right. At this time, are there any other questions from the council for the petitioner? Again, I will ask, are there any other questions at this time for the petitioner? Seeing none, is there any further deliberation amongst the council? Seeing none, the hearing is now closed, and I will entertain a motion to approve the special permit.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion has been properly made by Counselor Edwards, and I believe Counselor Walsh beat Counselor Hurst to the punch there. Madam Clerk, if you would be so kind to please call the roll.
Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield? Away, Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the special permit is approved. Counselor Edwards, on the reasons for approval, please.
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. The use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of findings.
Thank you, Counselor Edwards. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept the reasons?
On the reasons, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield. Away. Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
yes,
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, thank you, counselors. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
The next item is for a special permit for the expansion of a pre-existing crematorium at the property known as west side of Pine Street, AKA 171 Maple Street.
Madam Clerk, have we received any remaining testimony in favor of this item?
We have not.
All right, and in opposition?
No, not at all.
Are there any questions for the petitioner at this time from the council? Again, I will ask, are there any questions? Counselor Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have one question based on our discussion that happened at the last hearing. I don't believe this property is in a historic district, but it abuts quite a few. And I'm wondering what considerations have been given to the design for the expansion of the crematorium based on the surrounding historic nature of the existing structures.
Counselor Fenton, who would you like to answer that?
Attorney Hannafin or whoever's here on behalf of the Springfield Cemetery.
I can answer that. I'm actually.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Jim Hannafin, 171 Maple Street, Springfield. I'm a member of the board of directors for the cemetery, as well as from Kalen Levinick Architects, for the architects for the project. As far as reflecting the materials, we're using similar materials as the previous addition, concrete block, masonry. It will match the addition that was there before. We're trying to match some of the banding and things that were from the original chapel and some of the materials that were there. It is not the same sandstone or limestone that was used in the facility, but it's not a building that's on the historical record for the state or federal use.
How old is the existing structure?
80, I believe 88 years old.
Okay, so you said that the design is not going to be exactly the same materials, but you're using substantially similar materials, and you're making an effort to match that with the existing structure? Because it is a brown, I drove by it, it is a pretty breathtaking brown stone structure. And so I'm just wanting to make sure that there's measures that are being taken to match the best of our ability, given the cemetery's economic available resources, so that the expansion just doesn't stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, again, it's masonry product. We're not using, it's not a stone. We're using concrete block. Again, trying to match some of the colors, the banding that are in the original building. The new addition doesn't actually touch it's an addition onto the floor. The addition that was put on 20 years ago. So years and years ago, there was a wood framed addition with siding that was put onto the original chapel. That's being covered and removed. And then this new addition, it covers the one that was done in the year 2000.
So what, I'm sorry to belabor the point, because I know we did get into this at the last meeting, but you said that there's a portion that's being removed. So the expansion that was done in the 2000s is going to remain, and you're expanding off of that, correct?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and I missed when I said removed. You won't be able to see the original, the exterior material on that side. We're removing the siding. It was a siding material used instead of masonry, so that'll be covered. That'll be removed. That's what's being removed. So in the end, the entire building with additions will be masonry.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm satisfied.
All right, thank you, Councilor Fenton. Are there any other questions at this time? Seeing none, is there any further deliberation amongst the council? Seeing none, the hearing is now closed. I will also now entertain a motion for this item to approve special permit.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Edwards, seconded by Councilor Fenton. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
On approving the special permit, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield? Away, Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams?
Yes, the special permit is,
I'm back. Can you recall me on this one? I'm sorry.
Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
thank you, Councilor Woodfield. The special permit is approved. Madam Clerk, can you, I'm sorry, Councilor Edwards, can you please relay the reasons to us?
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. The use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of finding.
All right, thank you, Councilor Edwards. Clerk, can you please call the roll on the reasons?
On the reason, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams?
Yes, thank you, Councilor. Madam Clerk, the next item, please.
Thank you.
Next item is item number 14, to change the zoning of the property known as 8 Florence Street from a Residence B to a Residence C.
All right, Madam Clerk, was there any remaining testimony in favor of this item?
No, there was not.
And how about in opposition?
No.
Are there any questions from the council for the petitioner at this time? Seeing none, is there Councilor Woodfield?
Thank you. I believe that last hearings meeting, we were looking for some items to be updated, like the sidewalk. And we just wanted to know if he was going to do what we asked. And I just wanted to get an update on that.
All
Some
right,
of
thank
those
you.
things. The
Petition.
fence and the sidewalk, and I don't know what else.
Petitioner, if you can just please state your name and address. for the record.
Hi, yes, my name's Alex Whitus. I reside at 195 Christopher Terrace, West Springfield, Massachusetts. I wanted to clarify on the sidewalk. For our six family, we actually submitted an application in September 2020 for our six family to have the sidewalk repaired. We haven't got back. The sidewalk falls under the Springfield DPW's property line. And if, as the application stands, we pay for half of it. I'm more than happy to fill out that application day one, or if they would allow us to take full responsibility for the sidewalk, but that is outside of our boundary for our current scope of the project.
And the fence, I think that it was a request to, some type of request for the fence. I didn't make it, so I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yes, I believe you're referring to Councilor Letterman's request, Councilor Whitfield. I don't know if you would like to speak on that.
Yes, Councilor Letterman.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I just wanted to make sure whatever the fence decision, whatever decision was arrived at relative to whatever the fence was going to be converted to was good with the neighborhood council. So as long as the neighborhood council is in communication with Mr. Whitus and is pleased with the fence design, then that'll meet my standard. Also relative to the sidewalk, Mr. Whitus, just so you know, you can assume responsibility for the sidewalk if you clear it with DPW. DPW definitely has final approval, but once you get ready for that process, I'm sure, again, through the neighborhood council or through this body, we can assist with that as well.
All right, yeah, that'd be great, because obviously we'd like to take care of the sidewalk, because we're projected to invest over $500,000 privately into this property. And I just wanted to mention, we had already talked to the president of the neighborhood council and received his thorough support on this. And we've discussed the aesthetics of the fence and all the others of the property that we would like to address, and received a letter of recommendation back in March or April for their complete support.
Can you just describe what type of fence you'll be putting up?
Yeah, so our initial communications was to lower the exterior road facing side of the fence down to a standard height of 4 feet and add some aesthetics to it. Probably like, instead of just a basic chain link fence, we'll have something that's covered, rubber covered, or they have a rubber application they apply to the fence for the chain link. And that was our intentions.
Thank you, Councilors Whitfield and Letterman. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you, Alex. I kind of have to reflect with my colleagues when it comes to certain things. It's not really so much of the fence and all, a lot of the things. It's about making it look pretty also. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. I appreciate it a lot. But a lot of people, they say they're going to put fences up, and the fences are there. I mean, put some flowers, put some greenery, make it look pretty for the residents. I do appreciate, your commitment and your investment. But I mean, I just really would like to see it a little, just make it look pretty, as pretty as you can, with some greenery. And I know, you don't have to, but I definitely appreciate it, but it's about making it look pretty. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. All right, are there any other questions at this time from the council? All right, seeing none, is there any further deliberation? Seeing none, the hearing is now closed. I will entertain a motion to approve the zone change.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion has been made by Councilor Edwards and properly seconded by Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On item number 14, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gomez, absent. Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Kern.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Williams.
Yes, the zone change is approved. Madam Clerk, is there any further business before the council this evening?
Reading of the reasons.
I'm sorry, Counselor Edwards.
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. The use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of finding.
Thank you, Counselor Edwards. And for the point of clarity or clarification, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll to accept the reasons?
And accepting the reasons, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Letterman.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gomez, absent Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Ramos.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yeah.
Yes, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hurst. Counselor Hurst.
Yes. Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes. Thank you, councilors. Now I can ask, Madam Clerk, is there any further business before the council at this time?
No, there is not.
All right, councilors, thank you for your time this evening and have a blessed.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice job.